Hey, what's going on, everyone? Gillis TV back here with some more Edmonton Oilers news as Frank Seravelli has dropped some news about who the Oilers are targeting for PTOs, and of course, we know a couple of them, but another name added to that list. But before we get into this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like any Oilers news or NHL news. I try to do every team, but mostly Oilers since, you know what? I'm an Oilers fan. You've probably seen me on Dolany TV and the Oilers Fanatic from time to time. But hey, if you like anything NHL related, make sure to hit that subscribe button as we are 116 subscribers away from our goal of 1,000 subscribers. And we're trying to reach that goal by September 1st. So if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, that'd be greatly appreciated. Now let's get into this. Like I said, Frank Seravelli tweeted out just about 19 minutes ago from when I'm actually recording this video. UFA update. The Oilers are pursuing the market for a right-handed shot D-man. We already knew that was the fact. Of course, names like Justin Schultz, Tyson Barrie, ex-Oilers are on that list, and added veteran defenseman Kevin Shattenkirk onto this list as well. Shattenkirk's an interesting name, of course, we'll get into that, and he put among others. So apparently the Oilers are looking to see who is available for PTOs on that right shot defenseman. He also added that, I'm not too sure if this means the Oilers as well, that Max Pacioretty has firm offers in hand from at least 3 teams. The veteran forward expected to make a decision soon. So not too sure if the Oilers are on Pacioretty here or if that was just part of the tweet in a sense that, hey, Patches is going somewhere. So we'll leave that for now. But we'll talk about the defensemen here. And we talked about Justin Schultz and Tyson Barrie yesterday, just briefly. Of course, the Oilers Fanatic had that on his channel, and I just don't see a fit for Tyson Barrie. Like, I get he was a great locker room addition and whatnot, but he struggled after leaving Edmonton. Not being that top power play unit quarterback, that's Evan Bouchard's job. Yeah, he could potentially fill in for Bouchard if Bouchard gets hurt, but a lot of people are thinking maybe that's Darnell Nurse's role. I get he was well liked by the team and the locker room stuff. I just don't see a fit where he's better than Emberson, where he's better than Troy Stecher. Him and Troy Stecher and Josh Brown would be all in the same mix. I think Emberson is the top target here when it comes to who's the second pairing right D with Darnell Nurse. Of course, Emberson putting up 10 points, I believe it was, in 30 games, was a -10 for a San Jose Shark team. Now, that -10, any other team last year is probably a +5. He played really well against teams' top lines, but I just don't see where the Oilers and Tyson Barrie could come into agreement. Last year, Tyson Barrie played 41 games, had 15 points, and was a -10, was scratched a lot in Nashville. So, like I said, nothing against Tyson Barrie. Just after he left the Oilers, went to Nashville in that trade for Ekholm, it just kind of went downhill for him there. Next one is Justin Schultz. Now, this one's a very interesting, I believe is an interesting player because he started his NHL career with the Edmonton Oilers. He didn't kind of produce how the Oilers wanted him to. There was some rocky stuff between him and the team. And, you know, in 70 games last year, he had 26 points, was a -23 on, I believe it was the Seattle Kraken. Yeah, it was Seattle Kraken. So, this is a guy that is a -57 in the course of his career, but playing third-line defense, he's probably not going to see much power play time. He will only see about 15 to 17 minutes a night on defense, 5-on-5. He could be a decent penalty killer for the Edmonton Oilers, but again, it's another former Oiler. Do you take a chance at him? I know it was years ago since we had him. He has matured. And in some interviews I've seen over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, you can tell he's really matured from his time in Edmonton to where he is now. So Justin Schultz I would take over Tyson Barrie at this point. Of course, we're talking about the third D-line pairing as of right now. I do believe that Emberson's going to take that second D pairing on the right side. Now, if Troy Stecher or one of these PTOs or Josh Brown, outduels Ty Emberson, that second D pairing is available for anyone, but with all the accumulated cap space we could have, sorry, all the accumulated cap space we can have by the deadline, you could add a solid second pairing defenseman if you're the Edmonton Oilers. So a lot of things could happen with that second D pairing. I know we always say this, it's hard to play with Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse plays a certain way that a lot of players have troubles playing with. We've seen it with Ceci, we've seen it with Desharnais at times. Proberg during the playoffs was actually not too bad with playing with Darnell Nurse. So Darnell Nurse really needs a defensive defenseman. That's who Ty Emberson is, a defensive defenseman. He can shut down the plays. It has a really high defensive IQ, but that's where this next guy comes in. And of course, I said this was the intriguing one from this tweet. Kevin Shattenkirk played with the Boston Bruins last season, 61 games, had 6 goals, 18 assists, and was a -2 on a Boston Bruins team. Over the course of his career, he has 484 points in 952 games and is a -29. Looking at his playoff picture, he has 91 games in the playoffs. He has 48 points in 91 games. That's better than his career average during the regular season. He can come into the playoffs and produce. He played 6 games last year with Boston, had 1 point and was a -1. He's had 48 in 91 games and a -8. So Kevin Shattenkirk comes with a lot of playoff experience, but there is the upside where he is a defensive defenseman as well. So this is one I'm actually really intrigued to see, is if it's Kevin Shattenkirk on a PTO. I believe he can make this Edmonton Oilers defense. He is a veteran, and that's one guy I think the Oilers should take a run at. Now, it does say among others, I could see maybe Travis Dermott or Tenorti, like the Oilers Fanatics said yesterday. They are left-handed shots. Could be one of the guys that comes in, hey, you're going to Bakersfield until something happens to that left side. Of course, I don't know if Frank Seravelli meant the Oilers were interested in Max Pacioretty or not. That is something we'll have to see. But that's pretty much my take on the 3 guys Frank Seravelli said. Of course, he said among others, we'll see who those are eventually if some names pop out. But I'm Gillis TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good one.